My name's Rob Domaschko. I run D Crane Rental. We're a family-owned business, been around since 2003. I started with him 11 years ago, and we have grown quite a bit since. I think we now have 11 or 12 link belts. The fun part about what we do, we're more of a taxi fleet than just an equipment rental company. So the fun thing is we're somewhere new every day. We're usually talking to somebody new every day. It ain't the same thing over again. One day we could be setting air conditioned units, which we do a lot of, but the next we could be setting tanks or setting steel, working with the railroad on a train. We cover an area, we're lucky enough to be able to cover an area of all of eastern and central Kentucky, to northern part, and even up to Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio, or Dayton and Columbus. A lot of our success has been we've been able to retain customers. They come back to us. It's a lot of word of mouth, and people just like our service, and they help us out by spreading the news. So when we started in Lexington about 4 years ago, we opened up a shop there in Georgetown, Kentucky, which is only about 60 minutes from here. But it's a big part of our growth because it seems like people really like us down there. So they keep calling us back, and you know, over the last 5 years, that's been a big part of it. It's a really good move that we made. I'd say since 2018, we jumped into the RT fleet, and the only RTs that we have are link belts. We have 4 of them now, and that got us into the equipment rental side of D Crane Rental per se. But so that small percentage is not taxi fleet, but it's gotten us into the equipment rental, and that pushes us into going out of town a little further. We can cover work in Columbus, we just drop the crane off, and Dayton, Indianapolis. We've taken some cranes to Virginia over the years. The link belt brand, how we got started into it was when we bought our first 90-ton class machine. We wanted the strongest of its class, and that's, you know, after searching charts and going through manuals, that's what we felt like would do us the best. So we bought that crane, and the service that we've gotten from Columbus Equipment, we didn't buy the crane from Columbus Equipment. At that time we were buying used, and but whenever we needed something, they were willing to help. So we've had a great experience with that crane. So we went about 2 years later, we bought a new one. The new, it was a 2015 86-100, so we bought the new one. And we were fortunate enough to have a really good job right here in our backyard that was going to be in and out of for a year. So we felt confident on buying new, and that really grew our relationship with Columbus Equipment. And they haven't, you know, if a crane goes down, they've always answered. So that's been a big factor, and it feels like they put us, I don't know if they do put us first or not, but it feels like they do sometimes. So we have an issue, they respond. Part of our growth there, we wanted to get into a bigger capacity. That 100-ton was our biggest at the time. So we, from what we do, running up and down the road, covering central Kentucky, covering Cincinnati, we wanted a crane, a truck crane that got up and down the road really well. And we felt that going with the 3140 put us in a bigger class, longer boom, longer main boom. Being downtown Lexington, downtown Cincinnati, the areas that we cover, that long boom helps us get up and over taller buildings, and it was just a good capacity for us to get into. The operators like them. They're operator friendly. You can get into the crane and just set it up, and it benefits us to have the whole fleet like that, in case if we have to change out operators, somebody's on vacation or somebody's sick, I can put another operator in that machine and they are still familiar with the computer, with the controls. It works really well for us to just go with one brand when we can. The 3210, that chart is the best in its class. So that helped us. I mean, obviously we wanted to go with Link. We wanted to go with Link. That's our first choice is Link belt. And it didn't hurt that the chart was better than any other 210 ton in its 200 ton in its class. So that made it real easy for us to go that route. That's the biggest crane that we have. So if we don't have the luxury of just going up in size. So the benefit to us getting this, if we wanted a 200 ton class machine, it's best for us to go for the best chart in its class, out of the other manufacturers, because we don't have the luxury of just going up in size. So for the money, we want to go with the greater capacity that we could get. And that's what I mean by the chart and the capacity. It may, the competition could be quoting a bigger crane because their Grove 200 ton couldn't do it. So, and where we're able to squeeze out the extra capacity. So to be able to just call Columbus Equipment on any machine that we have, from the 50 ton, we bought a new 50 ton from you guys. It's a 2017. But from the smallest machine we bought from you to the largest, I mean, there's five machines we purchased from them, and it doesn't matter what we have, they always respond and are eager to help. So I mean, we do have other manufacturers that we run. There's only a few of them, but if I needed something, if that crane was down and I had no other options, with my service tech, I would call them and they'd come help me work on it. So just being able to call them and knowing that they'll drop what they're doing and come service us is really big. We don't anticipate going to any other dealers. Bob and Roger really take care of us, and they always answer every question we have. And I bug them a lot in terms of, hey, I've got a job that I'm quoting. It's not guaranteed. Could you give me a quote on this crane? It's worth quoting. If it comes to light, I'm buying the crane from you, or I'm re-renting from you to cover the job. So I have bugged Bob and Roger several times over the years for that, and we do look to continue to grow in our RT fleet, which we don't want to go with any other manufacturers. We want to stay with Link Belt. We really like what they have to offer. Hopefully we will start buying new ones here in the next couple years. I do plan on continuing our relationship with Columbus Equipment and hopefully buying more cranes here in the future.